They're coming to get you.
The persons who have recently died have been returning to life.
The Fear Central Radio Show.
Hey, fellow horror fans, welcome to the Fear Central Radio Show. I am your host, Mike, and joining me this week, we've got...
Chris.
Heather.
Katie.
Paul.
And we're all here. All right.
And we have two new people.
Two
or
new
beings.
People.
Well, sometimes
they're four-legged people.
Sometimes they're better than people, you know.
We've got
Yes,
some,
so if
we've
there
got some
are
extra
weird
furries.
noises in the background, you all heard Baby Cujo and Devil Dog. So
But now we have Lilith and
Zool.
Zool.
The whiniest of all of them.
Now, was he the
Yes.
keymaster or the gatekeeper?
he was the gatekeeper, I think.
Gozer was the gatekeeper.
Yes.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Gozer the Gozerian.
Right?
Sorry, I crossed the streams.
Don't be crossing the
I think there
streams.
was some stream crossing in this film we watched tonight, too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, a little bit.
I was beginning to think Heather dropped LSD in all her shit.
I didn't pick this movie. This is not my pick. My pick was the last time.
Yeah, but you cooked the food.
I had a whole other movie lined up, and then I was thinking back about our going through horror history, and then I realized nobody made comments about Wicker Man like they had seen it before. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. So now that you've got what we watched 1973's The Wicker Man.
You can't
And
unsee
so
it,
we're
that's
doing
for
our
damn
watching
sure.
review on it. Directed by Robin Hardy.
Mm-hmm. Written by Anthony Shaffer.
Written by Anthony Shaffer. Directed by Peter Snell, wasn't it?
I think both of them
Yes.
dropped acid.
No. Robin Hardy was the director.
Robin
Peter
Hardy's
Snell was the producer.
Yeah. Anthony Shaffer, writer.
Okay.
Robin Hardy, director.
So,
yeah.
so the official synopsis before Paul corrects everything is a righteous police officer investigates the disappearance of a young girl. While searching for the missing girl, he comes into contact with the unusual residents of a secluded Scottish isle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty good.
so far, so good.
That's where it ends.
Okay.
That's about
Yeah.
2 seconds of the film.
Evidently, a well-respected film. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 90. IMDb gave it a 7.6 out of 10.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it's got a cult following.
Yeah, it does.
It definitely does.
Yeah, so does Trolls, but I really don't want to follow that.
And just to let
The
everybody out
animated
there,
movie, or did you mean Troll 2?
Both.
Trolls. But
You
just
see,
to let
You
I
can't
don't-
piss on hospitality. I won't allow it.
That's funny.
Oh my
goodness.
god.
And what was the one with Garbage Day?
Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
That was really nice, too.
So many great bad movies.
Yes.
And we've pretty well seen a lots of them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say all of them, but we've seen a lots of them.
So before we go any further, just to let y'all know, this is not, I repeat, not the Nicolas Cage version.
No.
So,
No.
before you're like, oh, Wicker Man, I've seen that. No.
No.
Probably
no.
This is the one that started them all.
Yeah.
No.
It's also not appropriate for small children
Oh, hell
or
no.
teenagers,
No,
for
no,
that
no.
matter.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're trying to get the birds and beads across, maybe. But
I do not want my children getting to that age where we're going to
It's a
show
very-
that film
It's
to
a
show
very
them
natural movie. Very natural. It lets people know the maypole's all about the phallic symbol. And
Yeah. And
Can we just say 70s? I'm just,
It is
Yeah.
the 70s. Yeah.
It is very 70s.
Bush was
Yeah.
affluent.
So
there wasn't a whole lot of
It's
bush
almost-
going on. They were jumping over that fire too much,
I know.
burning it all off.
Which is why it would be mad to wear clothes.
That's
Of
right.
course.
Yeah.
God forbid.
So
So, starring in this one, Edward Woodward,
mm-hmm.
Christopher Lee, Diane Cilento.
Yes. Yeah. And Britt Eklund is often referenced in
Yes.
this as Willow, the landlord's daughter.
Yes.
Which is quite a song about her.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's quite a dance by her, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got a little trivia on that one.
Oh, do you?
I do.
Oh, Lord.
She was pregnant while she was filming this movie.
Yeah.
And so most of the shots they shot her from the
Behind.
chest up.
And behind.
And she used a body double.
Oh, so the ass shots were a body double?
And that was a body double.
Wow.
That was a very willing body double.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
willing. That was, yeah.
I thought I remembered hearing
Here's a
that.
little bit of a trivia for you. Since you said this was one of your favorite roles by him.
Christopher Lee.
Christopher
Yes.
Lee agreed to appear in this film for free. Seriously.
Okay.
Said it was.
This is why they didn't give him a hairdresser.
Said it was the greatest role he ever played, or something.
Yeah, he came back for one scene in the sequel that came out last year, 2016's Wicker Tree. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was a sequel.
There was a sequel, but the thing is, it's written and directed by the director of this one. So they say it's from the creators of it. Thing is, you'll notice in the credits it said Anthony Shaffer's Wicker Man, not Robin Hardy's
it
Wicker
did,
Man.
Gotcha.
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it.
A little bit?
A little bit.
Not the whole thing.
Not the whole thing.
This says,
Did you stop, 5 minutes into it? 10, 20?
I was generous.
30.
About
You were generous?
About 15?
15?
17?
No, Katie says she's generous, but I mean...
I wasn't watching it. This was
Yeah,
all
okay. Some other trivia: the film was inspired by an engraving called the Wicker Image, and the Britannia Antigua Illustrata
Yeah.
by
So-
Alette Sams in 1676.
So,
Some people have doubted the historical existence of the Wicker Man, suggesting that it came from Roman propaganda by people such as Julius Caesar.
Damn,
There is,
Caesar.
however, undeniable evidence that the Druids and the Celts practiced human sacrifice.
yeah. This is definitely Celtic.
Okay, so we mentioned at the very beginning of the film, on the dinghy,
The dinghy.
Lord.
there was an eye.
All seeing eye.
They never really talked much about it.
Yeah.
So this says that the Evil Eye rowing boat, which takes Howie to and from his plane, was not constructed for the film. It belonged to a resident of Plockton. Upon
just
seeing it, the
thought it was
producers
cool.
decided it would suit the film, and the boat survived until 2004 when it was destroyed in a storm. So,
Moment of silence for the boat.
There's a lot of love for that boat.
Yeah.
thus sacrifice.
It was a pretty awesome boat.
Yeah.
Little rowboat with an eye on
It's
it.
blue and red and everything. I mean, how could you
Comrades are
not love
Barney.
that?
Comrades are Bonnie.
Corn rigs.
Not Bonnie. Yeah.
So,
The lyrics for this song were actually written by Robert Burns in
Yep.
1775.
So that is something that I like to not tell people when I show them this movie the
That
first
it's a
time.
musical?
Or that you know it.
No, that I like to let people just figure out on their own. Like, oh yes, there's going to be a lot of song numbers in this.
And then they inquisitively turn to Paul and look at him and question his sanity.
But the thing is that's interesting about this is it's not a musical in the sense that it's like
Singing and dancing.
it's
all.
not like singing and dancing
It's the
numbers that aren't referenced.
Right.
It's like singing and dancing on as part of pagan practices and like festivities.
Right.
Like it's actually going on in the plot of the movie.
I like
Except
how
for
we keep
maybe
saying,
the-
pagan, but it was really more leaning towards the druid.
So
So, I mean...
Well, except for maybe the song in the bar.
so
I don't think
I am
Leonard's daughter was a pagan ritual.
So since this is going to be the point counterpoint thing, I'm probably the one that loves the movie the most, but and you're probably the one that likes it the least, Chris.
Actually, I kind of did dig it a little bit for its time. It was pretty,
Yeah.
cool. But just the...
Well, I am willing to.
They kept throwing
Well, here-
pagan like most people
here's-
throw Christian around.
Well, here's the thing. I'm willing to concede some of your point, actually, because as much as I like this movie, I have some thoughts about personal worldviews about how conservative either Robin Hardy or Anthony Shaffer was when they made this movie. Because the thing I love about the movie is that it's two belief systems that
Right,
butt
clashing.
up against each other,
Right.
and it is what makes the movie so uncomfortable. Is there is fierce belief on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
It all starts with a dinghy.
But at the same time,
No, it all starts with the missing girl.
but at the same time, I don't know where the worldview on the writer or the director of this movie
Well,
is.
Given that it was back in the 70s, you kind of have to, throw
because
caution
it's
to
real.
on
It's
it.
really closed. It's really closed off to the point that you're just like, is this sort of paranoid viewpoints of anything that's not Christianity, or is it like
Vice
just
versa.
an academic debate between two viewpoints?
It kind of feels like maybe they both had their separate beliefs, and it was like, well, this is what I believe and this is what you believe, so let's make it a movie, and bing bang boom, we've got lots of
it
movies.
didn't really seem like it was an all-out
89 minutes of
war between the two.
Dancing
very
and
uncomfortableness.
singing and nakedness.
It seemed
Katie's
like
raising her head. It's okay, honey. It's not. We're not in. You can come out now. It's okay.
So I look at it as so the 70s is a time where the mainstream is really defying everything that the establishment is.
Right.
And that's what the Flower Child movement was about. A lot of the Flower Children actually didn't follow Christianity at all. They wound up following pagan religions.
Right.
And this is I feel like it is a statement on that, and it's a reflection of what was going on at the time. When you have a group of people that have said that this doesn't work Christianity, that doesn't work anymore, so we're going to go back to paganism and accept this. And it's this whole idea that it's the mirror aspect of what was going on in society, and people trying to remake what they saw into what they thought would work. And that's
everybody does that every day. Every time they go to church, it doesn't matter what religion.
Yeah, but it was a little more intense in the 70s. There's not a lot. Of
back in the 70s.
You notice how when the historian starts talking, we all be quiet.
Yeah,
we just let her talk.
Well,
she's very quite accurate. In the sense that
to reinforce what she says, there is actually evidence of that in the movie, because whenever they go to the town records, they bring up Rowan Morrison's grandparents. And they say Brenda and something. He's like Rachel and Ben. Morrison. And he's like Christian names. He's like, well, they were quite old. And you get the impression that it was a Christian island, and then
it just went crazy.
Lord Summerisle's family took over.
I feel like the entire thing is a statement on that. It's the examination of what would happen if we let things get out of hand, and they make it into a horror movie.
Right. Well, you also have to realize that this came only within 6 years after Time Magazine put out an article called "Is God Dead?"
Yeah.
Very popular article.
Yeah. Real controversial for the time. So,
it feels like if you tried to make that movie today, it would not be.
No.
There's no way.
There's
It
no
killed
way
before
it would
it even
be
got finished.
as widely accepted.
Facebook would be signing so many petitions. So many petitions.
You'd have your fundamentalists, as we talked about earlier, that would be out picketing it and trying to keep it from getting in a theater and whatever.
Dogma got picketed when it opened.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what this would be?
I love Dogma.
Or Martin Scorsese's Last Temptation.
Oh, yeah.
Lord.
But then you'll have your other side that's not going to care. They're going to want to go see it because it sounds interesting. And then you're going to have that group that's just not religious at all anymore. And they're like, what's the matter? I don't care.
Yeah, but for those people, it's normally if you're told this is not okay, we can't show this. They're all like, hey, let's go do it because they say we can't.
So that's why I bought Two Live Crew.
So
I thought it was because you liked the girls' butts on the cover.
No,
you liar.
it was because the Tipper Gore went, this cannot be played as band, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy it.
I'm sure Two Live Crew thanks you for your contribution.
Yep.
So, I personally have only seen a highlight reel of it, but Mike and Chris have seen the remake themselves.
Right.
How would you say this compares? Like, what would you say that are kept or anything?
Well, because the remake is made more American style,
Yeah.
it is a little more fast-paced, as opposed to the British version, which British people just talk a lot and it's real slow.
British version is
but
definitely
this one
long and drawn down.
This one didn't seem as slow as some of the other.
Right.
It is only 94
UK.
minutes, just so you
Yeah.
know.
Really, because it felt like a lot longer with all the singing and dancing and.
Well, for you it did, but it didn't seem like that for
Yeah.
me. It was not
wasn't
nearly as long as the movie we just watched.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that felt like it took 4 days.
Cure for
This-
wellness is what she's meaning.
I was not going to mention.
I was
the
so
terrible
saved
movie
by
we watched.
Grace
Well, you
by
said
that
long,
one.
so
It
2.5
was
hours. So.
Yeah, it was 2.5 hours. That
and
one
it
was.
felt like about 4 days.
But it wasn't as slow as other BBC films I've seen.
Yeah.
But it was still a little bit kind of like, okay, you're talking.
Yeah, but that kind of made you kind of had to have that, because then you would have no idea what the hell's going on, because you're walking around and
I
you
think
see
that's
naked
why they put the
people
songs
and-
in it.
But
I like the songs, honestly. I thought it was.
honestly, the only reason this works, the only reason that I think this movie can even be considered a horror film, is because it is a lesson in contrasts.
Oh, yeah.
It is very, for 3/4 of this movie, it is mystery with sort of a lighthearted, quirky tone, and then it gets to the ending, which is not lighthearted.
No. Not at all.
I'm going to go ahead
Yeah,
and
I'm
pull up
thinking roasting
the 2006
somebody's
version.
flesh over fire is not exactly
Spoilers.
hard.
Well, I mean, even if you've seen the remake, it's you still know the end. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
Who's the director on the remake?
On the remake?
I don't know, but
Reboot?
Nicolas Cage needed money.
I click on it. I think he's the guy that did In the Company of Men, if I remember right. In the Company of Men. Yep. I swear the director of the remake of The Wicker
But
Man.
you
has
also see that on the remake that
Anthony Shaffer is credited as probably the original story. I bet.
probably.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Neil
Um,
Laboute
but
did
the,
the screenplay. It says.
The synopsis for this one, or the log line, is a sheriff investigating the disappearance of a young girl from a small island discovers there's a larger mystery to solve among the island's secretive neo-pagan community.
Neo-pagan.
Neo-pagan. So,
Because they're all women.
and it only got 3.7 on IMDb versus the 7.6 for the original.
I am willing to bet a lot of the upvotes are all based on Nicolas Cage in that movie.
Yeah, probably.
Although it's sad to say that, you got Ellen Burstyn from Requiem for a Dream and The Exorcist playing Christopher Lee's part in that remake.
Yeah.
And she feels, like, from the clips I've seen, she feels very, very underused.
Yeah. But here's a little bit of trivia for you. I don't know if you knew this. Many years after the film was made, Edward Woodward revisited some of the locations and claimed that he found the makeshift cross that he makes during the film still intact where he left it in the original scene.
Oh, good going, prop master.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. So what was funny is while we were watching this, y'all referenced you referenced I don't remember who it was, but somebody referenced Hot Fuzz.
I did.
You did. If Simon Pegg were here, this would be all taken care of.
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz references this movie, and Edward Woodward is in Hot Fuzz.
Oh,
he's the
That's right.
He's the guy at the very end with the blunderbuss that like ends up blowing up
Yes,
the police
bar,
station.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a big bush. He got a big bushy beard.
He's got a big bush. What?
I thought he was going to
Not
stop
in
there,
this
too.
movie, he
I was
didn't.
like, wait a
I
minute.
don't want to know what his bush like. Thank you.
Not in this movie. He didn't. He'd burn it in the fire. So that references there's several scenes where there are unclothed people dancing around.
They are butt-ass naked.
Yeah.
Just come out and say it, Mike.
everywhere.
I mean, it is everything. But the problem, I think,
They were all shaved because otherwise they get singed.
Yeah, but I think one of the things that's also uncomfortable is that at one point they've got these girls dancing around the fire, but they're not women. They are girls. They're not.
I don't know. They're probably like 18 or 19.
Yes, but they're still girls.
Okay.
Well, no, because they had on bodysuits that made them look like they're naked. So they could be, but it made it look like they were adolescents. They were not. It was uncomfortable for me.
But
Well,
it says girls.
Well,
It says girls.
No,
Because he comes in and he goes, you got kids out there naked.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee actually calls them children
Yes.
in the scene.
Right.
Yeah.
See, it was very uncomfortable for
The
me.
bodysuits make them look almost pre-adolescent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no chest development, nothing.
Plus, you've got that song going, and it's really falsetto.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, it is real falsetto about taking the flame inside you.
Yeah, as they
Make
jump.
the baby grow.
Yeah, make the baby grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's just not something I want my children dancing.
You are the one who said you wanted your children to watch this for the birds and the bees.
No, I said if you. I said if you. Hold up.
But
I
if
said
this
if you. I did not say if me.
No.
Thank you very much.
Well, and here, but the thing is that, you know, if you wanted to teach the birds and bees, just sing the Mayday Pole song. I mean, that right there will tell you everything you need to know. Except why the feather becomes the bed.
Right. There you go.
I mean, it jumps from
it's a down mattress.
Well,
There you go.
Unless
See,
you're allergic to
perfect.
feathers, then what the hell?
We're reading way more into this movie than we need to.
It was nominated for 6 different categories and won one award.
Which one?
Which one?
Let's see. In 79, it was nominated, or it won the Saturn Award for Best Horror Film.
Must have been a slow year for horror.
Yeah. In 79, it was nominated for Best Actor for Christopher Lee. It was nominated for Best Director, Robin Hardy. Nominated
I could
for
see
Best
Christopher
Writing,
Lee,
Anthony
but-
Shaffer. And nominated Best Music, Paul Giovanni. And then in 2006, when the DVD re-released,
Wait
it
a
was
minute.
nominated Best
won-
Classic DVD
It won the award
Jesus, Gozer.
for
for
Best Horror Film.
Horror. That's
At
the same year as Alien, Amityville Horror.
Right, but this was a Saturn Award, which is not a traditional award.
Yeah, but there's
Aren't
a bunch
those
of
British
these that
awards?
aren't.
No, that's the BAFTA.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There's a
The
lot.
BAFTA
Sorry.
is like the Americans' Oscar,
Yes, I got it.
which is why you won't ever see a horror
Is
movie
Alien
with the BAFTA.
79? I thought it was 77.
No, Alien came out 79.
Really? Wow.
Yep. In 2006, when I guess the DVD re-released, it was nominated for Best Classic DVD
So, well, the reason
for
why
a Satellite Award.
I can tell you right now, the reason why it would have been nominated for that is because there was a good chunk of the movie that was missing from earlier
Oh,
releases.
yeah, that's right. You told me
that's
that's why there
right.
was that splice in the movie.
Yeah, the master print of this during transportation literally kind of fell open and got damaged. So there is a scene in when you're watching the final cut of this movie, which we just watched, where you can see a rip on the film right at the top.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a crack in time.
So then in 2014, it was nominated for Best DVD Blu-ray Special Edition release.
Woohoo. Okay.
You take that. So, you know, it won one, nominated for all those others.
Excuse me, hell's calling.
Yeah, there's I'd like to see the other releases for that went up what it went up against for best DVD or best
Yeah.
Blu-ray.
So, yeah, I can tell you as someone who's seen the theatrical version a couple of times as well as the final cut. I had the DVD, and they didn't do it. Like, they did a much better job cleaning it up if you pursue the Blu-ray, which Lionsgate released.
Right.
But the original release was Anchor Bay, and
okay.
it had the final cut, but it also had the theatrical cut. I watched the final cut once.
Okay.
And I remember liking the other scenes, but the condition of the scenes that in question were just awful. Like, they looked completely different. Like they looked like they came out of a separate movie. And even now, watching it on Blu-ray, it's really overexposed looking. Like, you can can tell the different where the scenes were added.
Yeah.
That said, it's really sad to watch the movie without those scenes because it has one of Christopher Lee's best moments in the film. It directly in those edited scenes. No, it's the scene of him
Under the window, giving the boy to the landlord's daughter.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
and
I didn't realize that was Christopher Lee.
Yeah, that was
It
him.
didn't dawn on me that
and
was the
and then
same.
Because that's the first time you see him.
monologue that follows
Right.
with the snails
With the
and it,
snails.
yeah, but he
I'll
just
never look at snails
where he
again the
starts
same way.
talking about where he starts talking about the reverence he has for animals because he's never known them to be so judgmental and all that
Right.
stuff. Like
He
it like
could go live with the animals, he says later.
Yeah.
which it really sets up the tone. It sets up some of the themes of the movie. It sets up the tone.
It really
It gives
does.
you insight into his character, and if you don't have the final cut. It's just like missing from it. And
Right.
it's one of the bigger moments for
It
him.
is. I mean, because if that wasn't thrown in there, you'd be like, wait, what? I'm really
Yeah, you
confused.
stay confused for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, in theatrical, he doesn't show up until midway through the movie.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. That's
Well,
important.
we've seen other films that have done stuff like that.
Lots of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not all good. Most of them bad.
Yeah.
Most of the Summer Isle residents, they're named after trees, flowers, and plants.
Yeah. Yeah. Rowan and Willow and
Yep.
May. What was the other one? Myrtle. Wasn't that the sister?
Yeah. Yeah. Although it's pronounced Myrtle.
Metal. Metal. Kind of like mudda.
Evidently, Anthony Shaffer had a cameo.
Okay.
He was present during the filming of the final scenes and is said to be among the villagers.
I guess he
So he's out there
I guess he
singing
gets
while
to
the
sing.
thing's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where'd you go?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
If you're gonna put something, if you're gonna take credit from the director and call it your movie, you're gonna force yourself in there as a cameo too.
Force, you just wrote it.
Right?
It is rumored that the original negative of the film-length version was used as landfill in the M3 motorway in England. Actor Christopher Lee has said that this was apparently done on purpose because of Michael Dealey's dislike of the film. Well, now,
Okay.
maybe that's why I got damaged. No. It was roadway.
Yeah.
Filming occurred between October and November, so there were no trees in blossom.
Yeah.
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 The trees in the scenes with the pregnant women had to be brought in, and were all handmade.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Edward Woodward admitted one of the memories of filming that stuck in his mind was watching the trees being brought in on the back of a truck, as he had never seen anything like it. Hey, look, they're bringing in trees.
Which there are a lot of trees in this movie.
Yes,
and they all look very nice.
In that scene in particular, it looks like a grove of trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a full grove.
Christopher Lee also paid for his own press tour out of pocket.
He
And hit
really
every stop willing to interview him about the movie. According to rumor, some farmers in Iowa were surprised to see him out on live early morning public access shows.
No.
Well, look at there. There's old Christopher Lee.
There's old Christopher Lee. I
Oh,
know
dang.
him. He Dracula.
I love how that was before the part I walked in on.
So, yeah. Honestly, we lost Christopher Lee.
Yes.
Last year? Or
Was it
this
last year?
I think it was last year or the year before.
I think it was last
It was
year.
really
I really
recent.
think it was last year.
Let me see.
It-
I may beat fast fingers of this.
2015.
Okay.
June
15.
7th. It was an anniversary recently, June 7th.
Okay.
He was
93?
93.
Yeah. I was.
It's a long way.
Yeah, everybody has those actors that get real sad, and they get sad when they hear they passed. And Christopher Lee was one for me. And honestly, one of the first performance that popped into my head after he died was this movie. Because, I mean, he's not in the majority of the movie, but
He plays a big part.
he
in
plays
the
a
movie.
he plays a big part in it, and you can tell he is completely giving himself to the role.
Yeah.
I could also
Yeah.
tell he waived the rights to a hairdresser.
He's on the cliffs in Scotland. Of course, the wind's gonna blow his hair around.
Yeah.
Evidently, he was a good humored man. Because I was just reading here that there's noise in the background.
Yep. That's Zool.
That he evidently,
and Baby Cujo.
when he was 77, he confirmed that he had lost an inch of height and was now 6'4". Now that I'm 77, I'm only 6'4".
The guy also made a heavy metal album.
He did.
And a heavy metal Christmas album at
Yes.
that.
Actually, he made 3 heavy metal albums after the age of 95.
It was amazing. If you've never listened to it, you need to listen to it.
Maybe after 85?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but they're all they're all historical heavy metal albums.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
He also was a spy for Britain during World War.
Of course he
II.
was. Of course he was. As Dracula.
Yeah. So my favorite story about Christopher Lee was actually from the set of Lord of the Rings, where he was Saruman. Peter Jackson was instructing the people on set. Is like, so whenever this guy gets stabbed, this is what it's going to look like whenever they try to fall. And like Christopher Lee kind of leaned in. He's like, I know what it looks like when someone gets stabbed. And there's like, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, gotcha. Well, we'll just leave it at that.
During his final scenes inside the Wicker Man, Edward Woodward was reading his lines from giant cue cards placed around the surrounding cliffs.
It doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't. I would have never
Except
guessed.
for that hand.
How giant were those cue cards?
They would have to be
Hollywood
huge.
giant.
It's billboards.
It's like,
Oh no, Jesus God, no, Christ.
I mean, if you think about it, it only shows the townspeople from one
specific angle.
One specific angle.
It's his angle.
It's his angle. So
Yeah.
I would think that they would be close enough that he could read them, but not be seen on camera looking down from the Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Right.
So
he also did get pissed on by the goat that was above him.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
He got scared.
I can imagine every animal that was in that structure
Yeah.
got scared.
Yeah.
There
'Cause-
was fire.
Yeah. Fire.
Well, I'm willing to bet, to be safe, it was just smoke.
Yeah.
But even still,
that screaming
enough
goat
for
will
the
get you every time.
Well, you know.
yeah, it.
From just
you're
listening
in
to
a
the
small
animals,
little
you
cubicle
hear.
of wicker,
Mm-hmm.
and you're trapped, and you're up in the air, and you can't. Yeah, I'd be scared.
Especially, I mean, you can hear the animals, and they
They're
genuinely
wailing.
sound. I mean, they're genuinely scared. I mean, it's the screaming goat and the chickens and the cow and
Well,
whatever ducks.
You got
There's
a
ducks
whole
in there.
you got a whole town singing this delightful melody while someone's screaming a hymn in the structure you're at, and there's smoke all around. You're gonna be a little nervous.
Just a little bit. Just a little.
So
The plane shots arriving were actually filmed in South Africa because they didn't have the budget to glue blossom to that many trees.
Yeah, it was supposed to be from May days from April 29th
Yeah.
until May 1st.
Right.
Well, it was supposed to be shot in May, but it was shot in October and November. So
Right.
they had to glue on all the cherry blossoms
Right.
on everything.
So,
the blossoms on the tree, apple
evidently-
they looked good,
Mm-hmm.
even in high def. They
Yeah,
still look good.
yeah.
So evidently, while the plane was coming in, they didn't want to have to do that entire island full.
blossoms. Yeah, so they
Of
found somewhere else
blossoms.
that had blossoms.
So,
There you go.
Gotcha.
Okay, so perspectives. We got a whole lot of interesting perspectives for this movie.
yeah.
So we'll start with, this was Katie's second time watching the movie. What was your
2.5 times.
2.5.
2.5?
2.5.
Gotta throw that half in
Halfway
there.
through
Gotta have
that
the
last
half.
time. So this is-
Second complete. Okay, because we spot checked it when I bought it on Blu-ray. So what was your initial reaction to this movie? As someone who doesn't watch horror films like that often.
I was not fond of it at all.
I have no idea why.
Why?
Because it's interesting. It's not a traditional horror movie by any means. So you're not. It doesn't do what you're expecting, and while it's chilling, it also leaves room for thought, and that allows it to grow to worse whenever you try to sleep. So
Well, see, that's what makes a great film, though. Is
yeah.
if you walk out of the theater and it's like you never went,
Nah.
then it's not worth a movie. It wasn't a great movie.
Right.
But when you get one like this, and it's like years later, you're like, Wicker Man, at this point, and that point, and this point, and you're like, that's a great movie.
Yeah. All right. So Heather, who hadn't seen the remake, this was her first exposure. What did you know about this movie?
I didn't know anything, honestly,
All
going
right.
in because I
Well, I
didn't.
think there was a Wicker Man.
No, the only thing I really knew is that there was two movies, and one was a remake, and one had Nicolas Cage, and that was
Yeah.
it. I had no preconceptions coming into this movie at all.
Okay.
And it was uncomfortable in parts.
When did it start getting uncomfortable?
When he got to the island, because
Just immediately?
Yeah, because it was like he was there and he was searching, and they were like, we don't know what you're talking about. You can't come on here. You can't come here. And it's like all of a sudden it's like, okay, so there's going to be some resistance here, and it's kind of going to get,
Yeah.
You could kind of feel the tension, watching the movie,
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's like, okay,
but it's interesting.
Well,
it's interesting to note that they're not standoffish, though.
they're really
No.
not. They're polite, but they're like they have no idea. Well, then they say the name of a lady, and then they're like, no, we don't know her. Oh wait, she's the one who owns the post office.
It's weird because they're sort of courteous but condescending
Yes.
to him.
I think what really throws the scene off is the fact that not only do you have the group of guys that are going, no, we don't know that kid. Oh, wait, no, we know this lady. Everybody in the buildings behind them are opening their windows and hanging out of it,
just looking.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what's
Because
up?
there's an outsider.
It's like the opposite of, meet me at high noon where everybody closes their windows.
Right?
Yeah, it's a welcome committee, but it's sort of a paranoid welcome committee.
Oh, wait, there's a new person.
Well, I mean, for a first time view, it was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I will watch it again. It was a good one. I enjoyed it, even though it was uncomfortable. But I kind of like movies that make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not uncomfortable in a Cannibal Holocaust kind of way,
Right.
but uncomfortable just enough to kind of get you out of your skin and think, okay, well, this is totally different from what I see.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I need to open my eyes a little wider and see
Yeah.
outside of what's the norm.
It's more of a thought-provoking
It really
uncomfortable.
is.
Yeah.
It really is.
It makes you go, wait, I never thought of it like that. Kind of a,
I'm damn sure not going to be running around naked having sex in the cemetery. I mean, that's just not going to happen.
She was
but-
having sex. She was just crying at the
I'm sorry.
tombstone.
She was naked on the tombstone. I'm sorry.
It
But
is
everybody else was having
It
sex.
is a really
Yes.
evocative image, though.
It really
It
is.
It's one of those things. Like while we were watching the movie, I mean, Chris especially was like, "What the hell?" Like all of y'all were like, "What the hell?" Whenever it got to the breastfeeding woman holding the egg in her hand.
but
I think it was the
didn't
egg
really-
that threw everybody off.
I was
It is.
looking and I'm going, okay, she's breastfeeding, and then she has the egg. But then when they got to the
it's a
maypole,
It's a stark design imagery, though.
it is.
Yeah.
But then when they got to
About
the maypole,
fertility.
it was like, oh wait a minute, okay, here we go. I get the egg now, and I get the
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. I'm good with this now.
Yeah.
So I kind of know where it's going from
There
here.
were parts of it that seemed like it could have been a Kubrick style.
Mm-hmm.
That one in particular, just very symbolic.
Yeah.
Where it's mostly in the image and not dialogue or anything that pulls it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the remake first.
Right.
This one threw me a little bit because I didn't expect it to go as deep as it did into the religious connotation between the two, the
Right.
policemen and the rest of the
beliefs,
island.
yeah.
Because the remake is no religion. It's more of a men versus women kind of thing.
The fact that you said that, well, you said that before we started recording, kind of surprises me because honestly, I want to say maybe 80% of the tension I get off the movie is the fact that you've got two people with devout beliefs going, facing each other in the end whenever it gets to the sacrifice scene, because it is just sort of heartrending because you're like, there's no way you're talking anyone out of what's going on. This is happening right now,
Right.
and we all think we're justified in what we're doing.
Yeah. It seemed almost layman to him going back into the Roman days.
Yeah.
He's all. I mean, especially the symbology when they have him in the full long white kind of gown thing. Look very similar to as when they say that Jesus was led to the cross.
Yeah, they put the it's almost like an Ash Wednesday type thing with they put the paint on his forehead.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're losing people.
Yes, we are.
They're coming in and out.
Okay.
So this time around, because I've seen the movie a few times, this time around I did recognize what really bothers me about the sacrifice in the end of this movie.
Okay.
Is how much of a violation it feels like for the main character.
Right.
Because we're forcing you to be the sacrifice for our belief system, for our benefit.
Right.
You're doing a great thing, buddy, but you know, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter what you believe, it doesn't matter what you think. This is happening and you're benefiting us.
But it also takes precedence in the fact that we've manipulated you to do all this on your own. So it's not like we're forcing you to do this, because we've already manipulated you to get you to this point, so you're just going to finish.
Right.
Right.
It's also interesting. I caught this line this time watching it, that he says, and we're doing you a favor because we're making you a martyr.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's interesting that not only is it we're going to use you, but it's also we're doing you a favor.
Right.
In this.
Yeah, I was starting to wonder if we were going to see the Wicker Man. Because it's like they were doing that whole thing right on that cliff, and they did the whole juxtaposition shot over the cliff to see the rocks and the waves coming in. I'm like, they just gonna throw them over the edge?
Yeah,
where's the burning man?
That blurb, whenever he's reading in the library, it says they either throw them off cliffs or they burn them. So.
Right. So you're like, well, at least they put Nicolas Cage in a burning man.
Yeah.
And you said there was a difference between the Wicker Man and each version?
Yeah. This one seemed a lot more stout. Plus, it had all the animals in it. Because I don't remember Nicolas Cage just having all the animals. It was just like they shoved him in.
Yeah.
So it was like their sacrifice, because that movie seemed to be more male versus female, where this one was more sacrificing to appease our gods, to have a better harvest, which is really paganistic kind of motif.
Yes.
You have the animal sacrifices along with him, which made the big difference too. I think it seemed taller than the one with Nicolas Cage because of the added animals, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, you had, 5 animals in each arm?
Something like that, yeah.
There were
Yeah, it
at
looked like
least
it.
4 cages in each arm.
Yeah.
And then there was the central cage above his cage.
Which was the pig and the goat.
Yeah, there was like 2 up there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Like the coat and then the pig above that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's why this one looks a little more fuller, I guess would be the best term.
More robust.
More robust. It was fatter.
So,
Had the girth.
As far as everybody's got their certain thing that gets them in horror,
Yes.
and audio cues are a big thing for me.
Right.
And this movie does excel in that, especially when you get to the end where it finally gets real uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You've had all this music going on, background music, and on like background score and.
Sorry, that's the emergency alert system.
Okay,
Okay.
Zombies are about to attack.
fair enough.
Fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather be
There it
with you
is.
people for the fun zombie apocalypse
Yeah,
than
there we
those
go.
people. So.
There we go.
Yeah.
I could be stuck in a store with dimwits. Oh, was it?
An Amber Alert come through my weather radio.
Wow. Must be serious.
Must be.
Or maybe it was
Rowan
that close.
Morrison.
Oh, damn, Rowan.
Oh, it could have been that close, though.
What?
It could be that one is really close.
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's actually within our area.
Yeah, I don't know. My phone hasn't gone off.
Mine either.
Yeah, it's
It said out of Corpus Christi, so I don't know.
not close then.
No?
That's a first.
That's further away than usual, actually.
Yeah.
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 Bit of interesting fact, Amber is somehow related to me.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Wow, that's amazing.
Okay.
Amber Jennings?
The one that started the Amber.
Yeah, the one in Saginaw.
Yeah.
I remember
Up around the
that was
Metroplex,
Opal
yeah.
Jennings.
Yeah.
That was right before her.
Now this was one in Arlington named Amber. I can't remember her last name, but she was somewhere related to me somewhere.
Hagerman, Amber Hagerman.
Yeah.
Because we were related to Opal Jennings.
Oh,
We
okay.
happened to be related, so.
Look, I didn't even have to look it up. I remembered.
Look at you. I don't know.
Anyways.
What do you think
I'm a little.
about the end?
I kind of liked it. I mean, it was. You got all the animals in the Wicker.
Right.
In the Wicker Man, and then they put the very religious Christian man in there, and then all of them start singing this,
very upbeat.
But it's
there-
a
and
13th century. I can't remember what they called it, but it's based on a 13th century song, and so they're singing this very folk, very old song, and he's in there, like singing as loud as he can these hymns,
Right.
and then praying, and they
Yeah.
just are singing and happy,
Yeah.
smiling, and it was very tense moment in the movie. I rather enjoyed it.
I don't know.
I like the tension when it's not in my house,
Yeah.
when it's on the screen.
Yeah, and the moments that led up to it before that, whenever they were preparing him and everything,
Right.
Especially-
all the music cuts out.
I
Yeah.
think that
Raw.
I guess my favorite part was when they get him and he first sees the Wicker Man, and then it feels like you see everything. It's like you feel everything that he's feeling, because all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, I'm going to be burned alive.
Yeah.
They're going to cook me alive, and in this big giant wicker thing, and so.
I don't know. Was it me, or did it almost seem like the Wicker Man in itself and this one was also symbolic to Christianity? It seemed like a reverse Noah's Ark,
Yeah, kind of.
because you had all the animals in there, and then you add him into it. But instead of saving them, they're going to be burned as sacrifice.
Wow. We got quite the rodeo going on in the living room.
They do.
Oh, they're both getting him.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
He's double
bit off,
teamed.
he bit off more than he could chew that time.
Yeah,
Puppy dog rodeo going on in the living room.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
great.
hellhounds will play.
I'm telling you.
Telling you. No, I just thought it seemed, I was just thinking about that because it didn't really dawn on me while I was watching it. But as I sat here and pondered on it a little bit, I was like, well, that's almost another symbolic scene between the whole paganism and Christianity.
Right.
Where it was just like the anti-Noah's Ark.
Right.
So I thought that was real interesting. You ever think about that before, Paul?
I did not.
Ooh, looky there.
Look at that.
I had not, because I'd never seen it before, so this is new.
Yeah.
This is new. I'm getting all the new
Well,
feels.
like I said, because in the remake, they don't have all the animals and stuff in it. It's just Nicolas Cage.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's why I never thought of it.
Stung up Nicolas Cage.
Woo.
Yep.
The bees.
The beast.
The bees.
Yep.
Doesn't seem like bees would work in this one.
No.
No.
I mean, with all the failing apples and such.
I don't know. I don't know if it's because it was made in the UK, but it seemed very unlawful most of the time. I'm just going to search every house. Do you have warrants?
Right.
Or do they not have? Because you
Well, they
represent
kept
the
asking.
Queen. Do you not need
kept
warrants?
well, see, they kept asking, and he kept. And at one point, he was just like, "I'm going to do it, whether you like it or not.
No.
I'm just going to break the law and figure out what's going on here." And
But it's important to note that, there is a reason that he's the one that comes to it, because he personally gets the note,
the anonymous letter.
the anonymous letter
About
that
the missing-
wrote about Rowan
Well,
being
maybe
missing.
we should say why, because they open up the film with what he is before he's a cop.
He is very involved in his church.
Yeah.
Like he is. They show him the one of the first things they show is him taking communion and acting as liturgist for a service he's in.
So he's like right there up with the pastor
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Right.
priest.
Yeah.
An elder, deacon,
Yeah.
whatever the equivalent is in the.
Right.
And he is, and he is also
COE.
also a police officer. So it's
Right.
like he has these strong Christian values, and then he's also
And
got this
firm
strong
belief in the
moral
law.
law.
Right.
And then
for
he
Queen
goes.
Country and,
Yeah, and then he goes to this very unlawful, unchristian place.
Yeah,
and it's
where
like
people are
he's
fornicating out
trying
on
to,
Open.
Well, I also like
heathens, a whole bunch of
comment.
heathens.
There was also the one comment where it's like, never in the history of the UK has anyone been kidnapped and released alive.
Right.
So it's like, that's very interesting.
Yeah. And then I think the one part that kind of grabs you that I wasn't really I wasn't really thinking about. I was thinking, okay, well, they're going to burn him alive and people are going to come. But then he says, there will be no trace.
Right.
So what the hell are they going to do with that plane?
Burn it.
Sure, throw it on the fire.
Right? Why not?
No.
Add that to it. Sink it.
Never made
Sink it.
Or it would be better to sink it and then have wreckage and say he must have.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that could be too.
Yeah.
How many planes are down
How many times have the crops failed?
there? Right?
They said it was the first time.
Yeah.
They said
Well,
it was
looking on the wall, it was the first time.
Yeah.
Because the
Oh,
traced
yeah,
it
yeah.
was always bountiful.
Yeah.
So.
Which then makes you wonder about the comment where this soil on this island isn't even designed to grow
Right.
anything. Well, last year was the first year. Well, how's that if the land isn't even designed to grow?
Right.
Yeah.
So, another thought.
Yeah.
You can make anything grow for a short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah,
cultivate
but this
it
was
just
like
right.
his great grandfather
Yeah.
brought the
His
apple.
Grandfather.
Oh, grandfather. His
Yeah.
grandfather brought.
Well,
the
how many
apples.
photos were there?
It was only
It was
up to
like-
1971.
But there was like
Well, 1971.
Yeah.
yeah, but
Like
in the
Well,
row
one
there
that
was
missing
'Cause the top row
73,
had
and
what?
it was only-
the 72 was missing because this had took place in
there was
73.
12 photos. There was 12 photos there
But
Total?
That- total on the wall.
Okay.
Okay.
they
I
don't-
went back and counted
Could
because
always,
I can
like,
see that
I
scene.
thought there was 7 or 8 on the top row, and then there was one missing, and then like another 6 or 7. Or
I think there was 6 on the top and then 5 on the bottom, so there would have been 12 total without the one missing.
But the indication. Now I'm sitting here thinking about it.
the indication doesn't make it sound like that's where it was.
Is not that recent, but the thing is now that I've thought about it, when he's showing the portrait, he said, "My grandfather raised me to be blah blah blah." So I guess he was raised by his grandfather.
No, he says my father because his father also was there.
Not in the painting.
No, but he says my father raised me to be.
Okay.
Because he talks about my grandfather was there out of necessity, did this out of necessity. My father did it out of love.
Okay.
Right.
Well, he said the grandfather was a something benevolent man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know.
The implication seems to be that whenever the grandfather took over the island, it started the trend, the downward trend away from Christianity for the citizens of Summer
It
Island.
sounded like he did it, like he instituted the paganism.
Yeah.
Because before they had never been profitable, and he brought he brought in fruit and that kind of thing and made it prosperous.
Oh, that's right. That's the reason that the crops were good, because that's what they said is the grandfather was big into that.
Yes.
And that's the reason that you had the crops in Summer Isle at all.
I can't remember the word he used, agri something.
Agronomist, I think you just
Yeah,
said.
agronomist, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the dance. That was a big word in one of the other quotes. I was looking to see if I could find it. I love how he's like, shocks are better with the knees bent. Sit.
Yeah.
Yes,
Certain
yes.
conversations like some things are always better with the knees bent. Better absorbed with the knees bent. There you
Yes.
go.
Can you sing the dinghy, please? No.
They put that as a quote.
Yeah. First line.
So, okay, I guess the whole script is there as quotes on IMDb.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's
Somewhat,
like
yeah.
a whole long line
Yeah.
of them. So
Animals are fine, but their acceptability is limited. A little child is even better, but not nearly as effective as the right kind of
man.
adult. Yeah.
Oh, the right kind of adult. That's
Right.
right.
Kind of adult.
Yep. No, I was looking to see if I could find something where he said about his father and grandfather and all that.
So, in general, who would you recommend this movie to? Like, if they were fans of something else, is there anything to liken it to at all?
I don't know if there's really much to like it. I mean, I would say you have to not just want to go see a blatant, Saw or Hostel or Teresa kind of, just gore
It's a
fest.
pretty non-violent movie.
It is very non-violent. Not very much language either.
No.
It was pretty much just all nudity. Yeah.
I think I would.
I would say if you like a good thought-provoking film, this
or
would be
if you,
one.
or if you like the 70s type horror movies, like
Or if you
know.
like boobs.
yeah.
There's lots of those.
There's lots of
Lots of
those,
dancing boobs.
lots of dancing boobs.
Yes.
And, I mean, I don't
No, but a good thought provoking. If you like a thought provoking, like if you really like Wes Craven films, you'll like this film,
Right.
Because he has such an
because
intelligent style.
This is not
to
a
his-
full-on kick you in the teeth horror movie.
No.
This is a get you in the cerebral cortex kind of thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get you to where you're like, oh shit, and go to
Things
bed
that
tonight,
make you
and all
go,
of a sudden, exactly, wake up in the morning and wonder if there's a Wicker Man out back.
Also, I would say if you're very fundamentalist, Baptist, religious, you probably don't want to watch this movie.
Probably not. But if you're very fundamentalist, you're probably not listening.
I would
to
say you
us.
have to have a big, open parachute mind.
Yes,
Yeah.
which I have, by the way.
Yeah.
I won't reference my religion, but yes, I have a very,
What, Zool?
very sweet.
Looking at me like I said something wrong.
He's been coming, giving me lots of love.
He just looked at me and tilted his head like, what? And I was like, what? Did I say something wrong? What?
Okay, The Wicker Man.
Wicker Man. There we go.
Enjoyed it. It
Yeah.
was great for my first viewing. I'm glad I watched it with you guys. I don't know that I would have enjoyed it as much by myself.
By yourself, yeah.
There was a lot that I probably would have missed out on.
Yeah. You should
But-
have been like, I'm going to smoke.
It's also one that it's also one that if you're in the wrong kind of crowd, it'd just be a terrible viewing
Yeah.
experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not a
So-
watch in a party atmosphere kind of movie.
No.
So,
So
Yeah.
I said you have to have an open mind and very thought-provoking attitude.
right.
Because, I mean, it's not one that you actually have to sit and just watch. Otherwise, you're going to miss something.
No.
Like,
Although I was
dude.
afraid I was going to.
I know. That's
I
why
really
she
was.
didn't get up and go pee.
I know. I waited and waited and waited and waited until the credits rolled and I was gone.
Yeah, in the final scenes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my
which
god,
are
oh my god, oh my god.
real long.
Yes.
We actually thought she was dancing with the movie.
I was doing my own little sacrifice
Yeah, but
ritual dance.
It was really the pee dance.
It was the pee dance. It looks very similar.
It
does.
It looks very similar to their sacrifice dance.
So we're still waiting to hear what we're going to watch next week, but we
Yes.
will post that.
Thank you, Paul, for this
sometime.
wonderful
yes,
pick.
Paul picked this one.
So
Katie
far,
will be picking our next
so
one.
far the best of the three that we've watched.
Yeah.
Rated.
I'm glad to hear it's better than Bye Bye Man.
Yeah.
Bye Bye Man is at the bottom of our list
So far.
So far, and then
And then Rupture.
Rupture.
And then this one.
and then this one. So hopefully it'll
so
stay up there.
We'll
Yeah, work
keep
our way.
climbing that ladder.
Yeah,
And
we are
I'm
not
sure
going to
we'll
review.
get a notch or two that'll bring us down a little.
Yeah, but we're definitely not going to be reviewing A Cure for Wellness, just in case anybody
No,
doesn't.
no, we won't be doing that one.
No, unless you have 3 hours of nothing to do, and you're highly sedated like I was.
Yeah.
You might enjoy it, and I did not.
Oh,
So
I
You're
really
adding
that was,
to the runtime. It's only 2.5.
it felt like 4 days. So
Yeah.
3 hours. Is,
Although
you
I
know.
did like that version of I Want to Be Sedated
I do.
in that film.
I did like that one.
It was it if it wasn't the Ramones.
It wasn't the Ramones.
It
It was
wasn't.
very.
It was very like.
We'll play it. She found it, so we'll
I'll
play
find it for you
in a little bit.
yeah. Okay.
But yeah, we'll figure out what we're gonna watch next week, and we'll let y'all know. Other than that, if you've got a film you think you want us to watch and review, you can let us know on one of our many socialite sites: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Is that it? YouTube, maybe. Oh, because I have figured out how to get our audio shows on YouTube now. So now you can go to YouTube and watch it with
Yay.
keyword Fear Central Net, all one word. Otherwise, go on over to Google Play or iTunes and subscribe to us, and that way you'll always know when
That
we've
way
got a
you'll
new show
always
coming out.
know.
Or
Because
you
it
could
tells you.
just go to the website,
Oh yes.
You could,
and you could also buy something for yourself there.
you can. The great thing about going to the website to check us out is we have our own store,
I wonder-
powered by Amazon.com.
I wonder if they have a little Wicker Man you can hang from your rearview mirror.
I bet they have like the sun god that you could just hang on your wall.
Oh, I bet so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that I want the sun god on my wall, but I think I'd like to have a Wicker Man hanging
It
in
would
my
be-
car.
I think it would be really great if you're like into all the organic stuff. It would be.
Maybe it would have like the capability of putting oils on it, and you could just make it.
A diffuser.
Yes, a Wicker Man. If you anybody who's listening, we definitely need to do this. Arts and
Oh,
Crafts Day.
oh,
Arts and Crafts Day.
And the Hand of Fate.
Oh,
Like,
yes,
you could get a
yes.
Hand of Fate that's like a scented candle.
I wonder.
That doesn't smell like flesh.
Yeah, no flesh burning. So
Well, maybe perfumed flesh would be alright.
Body stockings? Can we get some of those?
This group, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be wearing a body stocking. But
okay.
Oh,
no,
but the
you don't wanna see
costumes.
this.
The costumes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The costumes during the ritual.
You can get a Christopher Lee dressing wig.
Yes, the Marilyn
That's
Manson
what
look.
I wanna post.
I think that's where Marilyn Manson got this look.
You think?
Marilyn Manson was watching this and went, "That's it. That's
That's
my
the
look.
one.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put in weird context to go with it."
Yeah, I can
He was
totally
big.
see
I mean, religion was a big part of his act, so maybe.
It is true.
Yeah.
It's a good chance you watch this movie.
So, yeah, head on over to the website, do a little shopping, check us out on. So, what you got to do is you got to go to Google Play or iTunes and download or subscribe so you always get the new show. While you're listening, head on over to the website and be listening to us while you're shopping.
Okay.
That works.
That's a very good tutorial.
Yeah.
Very nice.
You like it?
I like it. Lots.
I liked it too.
Great.
Ooh, there's a poster. You buy the poster? Not when I hit it and you can't see it.
What's on? I can't buy any
I like it. Very vintage.
I
Yes.
can't buy any Wicker
Very
Man
vintage.
paraphernalia off of the website. I tried.
You can't.
No.
Man, you're really going at it.
I was looking for it. I'm really thinking I want one.
Chad's gonna wake up and there's gonna be like a.
Oh, no,
next
he's awake.
Day,
He's awake.
That
There's
one-
gonna be a next day shipping.
There's this- But there's
be
this
like-
poster of the ritual you can get.
Yeah, I don't need that on the wall. I have a
Most
son.
uncomfortable scene.
I have a son who will be 12 on Wednesday, so I definitely don't need that.
There you go. There's his birthday present.
There you go.
No, don't think so.
Oh, here's
He's
a cool one.
very
Look at that one.
All right.
That one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee and Edward Woodward in the Wicker Man.
That would make a good
Hey.
T-shirt.
It
actually.
Yeah,
would too.
it would.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Check us out every week for a new show, and we will be doing.
You can get a Wicker Man painting cork for your wine bottles. It's pewter.
Nice.
It's amazing.
She was very excited about that one.
Yes, I was.
So yeah, check us out every week for a new show, and don't forget to subscribe to us and comment to us on our many social media sites. We will have a new movie to watch next week for our watch and review. And I see whispering going on. Did I miss something?
No, we're good.
Okay. So there you go. That's this week, and we will always catch you every week. And as always,
Stay scared.
Fear Central is a product of Thoughtbox Studios. Copyright 2017. For more information, visit thoughtboxstudios.com.